Chester, 1874–1888, was an Australian thoroughbred racehorse and a leading sire. He defeated some of the best horses in training over distances ranging from 5 furlongs to 3 miles. He was the leading sire in Australia on 4 occasions. Breeding. Chester, on the side of his sire, was a third-generation colonial-bred Australian stallion. Chester's sire was the influential stallion Yattendon, who was serving mares while still racing. His dam, Lady Chester, GB, was by Stockwell from Austria by Harkaway. Stockwell was out of the breed shaping broodmare. Pocahontas. Racing career. Chester's illustrious racing career began on New Year's Day 1877 in the Sydney Tattersalls 2-year-old Stakes, in which he came a close second to Viscount. After that, Chester won 3 consecutive races, all in the same week, and was spelled to await his 3-year-old season. He was ridden in these 3 wins by jockey G. Donnelly. Chester was then sold to James White. As a flying 3-year-old, Chester won 7 of his 10 starts, setting 3 race records. He placed short-head second in the AJC Derby. 2 starts after the AJC Derby, he started in the VRC Derby. He won, and claimed a track record 2:43, a record that held itself until 1897 by Amberite. His next race, just 3 days after his Derby triumph, was the grueling 2-mile, 3,200 metres, Melbourne Cup over a slippery, muddy track. Chester held on to beat the lightly weighted Savernake by a half-head in the record time of 3:33.5. He took a long and deserving spell after his spring campaign, and didn't return to racing until the April 1878. During his return, he won the AJC Autumn Stakes and 2 days later took second to Savernake in the 2-mile Sydney Cup, giving Savernake £12. He won the AJC Cumberland Stakes over 2 miles, the next day winning the 3-mile AJC Plate. Lame for the majority of his next season, Chester ran twice. He won the AJC Spring Stakes over 12 furlongs, and came third in the AJC Craven Plate. A year later, he ventured out for the VRC Melbourne Stakes, which he won. Despite being lame, he was entered in the Melbourne Cup 2 days later. Assigned with top weight of 9 stone 6 pounds, 60 kilograms, but sore and out of condition for the 2-miler. He placed 6th, with yet another Yattendon son, Grand Flaneur, taking the money stud record. By the time Chester had retired to stand at Kirkham Stud, near Camden, his owner, James White, had purchased a number of well-bred colonial broodmares. He began to build up a high-quality broodmare band through the 1880s, including Chester's dam, Lady Chester. White had also purchased Martini Henry by Muscat as a stallion for Kirkham, and he used as a cross with Chester daughters with some success. His best son, Abercorn, AJC Derby, defeated Carbine several times. Chester sired 26 stakes winners for 104 stakes wins, including Camula, AJC and VRC Derbies, Carlion, Dreadnought, Stromboli, AJC Derby, Sydney Cup, Titan and Urala. Chester led the sires list in Australia in 1887–88, 1889–90, 1891–92 and 1892–93, the latter 2 posthumous placings since Chester died on 21 November 1891, aged 17 from rupturing his bowel. He was buried at Kirkham Stud, Chester on Thoroughbred Heritage Site. Chester's extended pedigree.